money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Talk to Jay Morrison, beat writer for the Bengals, in half an hour. His thoughts on update on what's going on with Trey Hendrickson. Also Monday Night Football tonight. And apparently a big Arby's fan. Who knew? We'll get to that as well. Nish Gandhi, friend of the show, checking in. Phillies ace Zach Wheeler had surgery today to remove a blood clot in his upper right arm. A timeline remains uncertain. 35 years old, placed on the injured list after experiencing shoulder soreness. Nish, Dr. Nish, depending on the vessel that the clot was in, this might mean 3+ months of blood thinners out for the season. Overall health should be fine. So, this is big.
Out for the season? That's not what you want to hear if you're a Phillies fan or you got Phillies futures bets.
Uh-huh.
Zach Wheeler out for the season. And Nish Gandhi knows what he's talking about. This guy's a highly skilled, highly intelligent doctor. And he gave me some advice on how to fix some hip pain. And it worked beautifully within like a week.
Really?
So he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Okay, yes.
By the way, he's coming to Circa, I believe. He's going to have a cabana out here sometime in October.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it sounds like at that point, Zach Wheeler's not going to be back for the Phillies.
Oh, wow, that's wild. We got to get an update on that story. Big development earlier today. Your contest updates around town. And if you're coming to town, move it. Okay? Get organized quick. We're ready to start the season. Like Matt said, next Saturday, college football underway. We've got a week 0 this Saturday. Mm-hmm. Westgate, $5,000 Survivor, 39 people. Super Contest Gold, $5,000 to enter, 20 people. The Super Contest, which has been there for ever and ever. They put it up. They upped it to $1,500 entry, $316. The College Contest, $500 to get in, 450 people. Circa, Survivor, over 7,300 going into today. On pace for 19 and change. They were on pace for 21,000. We'll see what happens. Millions, 2,300 and change. And the big shocker, Grandissimo is already at 18. Mm-hmm. And I think I know 2 more people that are getting in. So is 40 aggressive? Can they get to 30? This is the stunner here. What's going on with Grandissimo?
I would say right now, 30 in Grandissimo is probably minus $2. Okay. Pretty significant favorite to get to 30 entries. How much above that? I'm not sure, but
that would be incredible.
Huh?
If you're going to,
I always said if you're going to sign up for Grandissimo, why wouldn't you do it just in the last week?
That too. Yeah.
Why would you let the book hold your 100,000 all summer?
Right. Yeah.
Just sign up in the last week. So I think a really good shot it gets to 30.
I got to read this again. Here's the perks when you sign up for Grandissimo. Round trip flight on JSX to and from Vegas. A 3-night Founders Suite stay at Circa. A personalized dining experience with Chef Barry. Derek's signature experience at Stadium Swim. A top shelf tasting experience at Legacy Club. A dining experience at Andiamo Steakhouse with the chef. Limo transportation to and from the airport. Year-long VSiN subscription. How about those perks?
And a guided tour of the VSiN studios with Paul Howard.
Sure.
You know what? I was with a group. We went to Andiamo last night.
Oh, so good.
Outstanding.
I love that restaurant.
You know who walked in the middle of our dinner last night? Dana White.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Was Miguel working?
I don't know Miguel.
Looks like Pitbull. Unbelievable waiter. My favorite waiter in Las Vegas.
No, we had Hugo as a waiter.
Did you? I had to break the Dave Koken news to Miguel, who used to wait on him at Ruth Chris all the time.
Oh, that was one of Dave's favorites.
Dave had his own table in the back. The stories there and the people that would come in, that was like the number 1 Ruth Chris in the world, that spot. And Miguel used to work that late night shift. Incredible guy. Go see him at Andiamo. He's the best. Monday Night Football. Pay off the tees. Your modern-day Marv Levy. Dan Quinn is on a 2-15 straight-up run in the preseason. Long hair, don't care. 0-4 in Atlanta, followed by an 0-4, followed by a 1-4. A 1-2 last year and an 0-1 so far. They were pathetic, vile, and nasty in the loss against the Patriots. He ripped them afterwards. Penalties, blown out. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown. I will point out his only 2 wins have been in garbage time. in a week 4 of a preseason, and then the last preseason game last year. Burrow and the starters going to give it a go for the Bengals. There's a 4.5 at DraftKings. There's 3.5 most spots as well. The total opened 39. It's up to 43 in this one. I will point out Zach Taylor is 3-13-1 in the preseason. So pick your poison. And although he started Burrow and the starters were great moving the ball, they lost 34-28 against the Eagles. So it's the same song and dance where they can't stop anything, and they're involved in high-scoring games, and we'll see if Golden can turn that around. I'm against Matt here. It's okay. Matt likes the dog, but I think the Bengals get it done, and I'm going to fade Dan Quinn in this one. Take it away, Matt.
Yeah, this is a situation where Dan Quinn said he's going to play Jaden Daniels and his first team offense about the same time that the Bengals are going to play, same amount of time the Bengals are going to play Burrow and the first teamers because Quinn was so upset by a poor performance against the Patriots a week ago. I think this number is a bit of an overreaction to Burrow and the first stringers playing again. Like you just mentioned, you saw the same thing in Philadelphia in week 1.
Yep.
Bengals offense gets out to a hot start, but they still give up 34 points and lose the game. It's interesting here at Circa in the past 40 minutes, the number here has dropped from 4 to 3. I did take the I did take the Commanders plus 3.5 at minus 102 this morning. But if you want to play the dog right now, DraftKings has got 4.5, and Circa's got 3.
Yeah. Good call.
Look at that.
Yep. Robinson will not play either. Probably
I
going
don't think that matters that much.
No, okay, but I'm just going to point out because they're probably going to trade him now, and then they still can't get this McLaurin situation worked out as well. And then you had the big news yesterday that they're trying to trade and taking offers for Hendrickson. They want a player or two in return and a first-round draft pick. As Bill Barnwell tweeted from ESPN, the last time this has happened, great pass rusher, 30 years old plus, Chris Dolman, 1994, from the Vikings to the Falcons. I think it was a number 1 and 2 twos in that trade. So the guy who led in sacks, what are you going to get in return? The draft pick won't help him, and oh boy, I was down on the Bengals. If they move this guy, forget it. As I read Warren Sharp's preview a couple times during the summer. I mentioned this on the air. Last year, they were horrendous defensively, despite playing the number 1 easiest schedule of quarterbacks. Brissett, Jones, Winston, Watson, DTR twice, Minshew, Ritter, Rush, Rudolph, Levis, Dalton, Russell Wilson twice. Oh, my God. They still couldn't stop those guys. I know.
That Bengals defense was that bad against those quarterbacks.
Right.
Hey, Myles Garrett got paid. T.J. Watt got paid. Hendrickson led the league in sacks.
He should get paid, too.
Why shouldn't he get paid?
Yeah, I'm with you with this organization. Why did
Cincinnati being cheap?
Yeah, and then what happened last year? They couldn't get it done with Chase, right? Took forever. And then he came in, it was out of sorts, and they blew that game to the Patriots. And the slow start is always what happened. That's the other thing, too. But I would say this. Oh, I was just going to cut you. I was going to say, it's on Zach Taylor, too. And he's got to be the guy. How he stuck around is beyond me. We talked about all the close losses, but the slow starts, and it happens every single year. And that's on him as well. You can't have an offense like that and spoil it and ruin it. So Lou was the fall guy, although Anarumo, their defense was pathetic. We'll see if Golden can come in and fix it.
Well, yeah. Look, I don't know if he's a miracle worker because the personnel on defense is not that much different. And if you take Trey Hendrickson off the field, you got inferior personnel than you had a year ago. So the coordinator can only do so much. It's not like Lou Anarumo was not like he was a joke, a chopped liver as a defensive coordinator. He had a good reputation. That Bengals defense, when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Rams a few years ago, that was a pretty good Cincinnati defense. You don't have the talent level's not that high, and you're taking your best player and you're disrespecting him, and you're not going to pay him.
Yeah,
the window's not going to be open forever to win a Super Bowl. You got to pay guys like Trey Hendrickson now. What do you think? What's your take on what Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are doing with Micah Parsons?
That's asinine. He's stuck in the 90s. Eye contact, handshake agreement with the agent not in the room. What are you, nuts?
Crazy.
Yes. I don't think he's going to be out there week 1. This doesn't look good at all.
Either. Jerry Jones does this over and over and over again. He ticks off his top players. They hold out. They miss camp, miss all preseason.
And he waits
and at the last minute, he pays top of the market money, and he gains absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrific negotiator. I don't know how this guy made billions. Seriously.
Another big news. For the first time during training camp, Stafford practiced today. Took part in the entire practice, starting with individuals and then full team drills, slinging it around. McVay said he looked good managing the huddle. He declined to share the plan for the rest of the week, saying we're keeping it day to day. It's a fluid situation. He was also asked about his level of confidence in Stafford being ready for the season opener against the Texans. That would be putting the cart way before the horse.
That's true.
So he didn't get into that as well.
Oh, you got about 3 weeks to get there. I'll tell you what upset me this morning. I was early in the morning. Most people were sleeping. I was looking at the screen, and the Browns are 2.5-point favorites against the Rams in this week's preseason game.
Okay.
That number was up at DraftKings.
Yep.
And I had heard what Stefanski said yesterday about how he's going to play his first-teamers. He's going to play his starters. And the Rams are not going to play their starters in this final preseason game. So I was trying to get a bet in this morning on Browns laying 2.5.
Oh.
But it was DraftKings, middle of the night, and I couldn't get the bet in time. And 20 minutes later, it went to 3, and then it took off. Now the Browns are 6. Now the Browns are 6-point favorites. I couldn't get the 2.5. You gotta be ready to fire fast because these lines move quickly in the preseason.
Very good.
Yeah.
MLB card up next. Already a final. Game 1 of a doubleheader. We'll give you that score. And this team has beat their opponent 10 in a row. Coming up on VSiN, Follow the Money, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Jay Morrison, Bengals beat writer for BengalsTalk.com, in 15 minutes on the Hendrickson situation and Monday Night Football. Game 1 of a doubleheader. Brewers pound the Cubbies 7-rip. Peralta does it again, gets win number 15. Game 2 coming up as the Brewers are running away with that division, and it's all but over. What a story here. They finally lost the game, but take 2 out of 3 from the Reds, and they take care of the Cubbies. The reeling Cubbies, as you said earlier. Shut out.
Well, I mean, it's sad what's happened to the Cubs. And again, we could talk about this for a long time. We're not going to, but if you look at the Cubs and how they backpedaled in the past month and a half, Michael Tucker's gone downhill. Pete Crow Armstrong's not hitting like he was. But I'll tell you what.
Kyle Tucker.
Yeah. I keep saying Michael Tucker, right? Kyle Tucker. By the way, there are a lot of people lobbying for the Cubs to give Kyle Tucker huge money, right? Big contract. He's not going to get that, is he? Is he going to get that?
I don't know.
Huh? He's done nothing for a month.
Yeah.
Anyway, Craig Counsell.
Okay.
Overpaid bust.
Now we're talking.
As Cubs manager. Wow.
Was that you with
Brewers
the
are better off without him, and the Cubs are overpaid.
know.
I call him Captain Hook. He goes out, his starter's in total control of the game. He goes out in the 7th inning and pulls them out.
Yeah. I think Poems ripped him too. Yeah, you guys, yeah. It was Imanaga a couple days ago, 2 weeks ago. Guys got a shutout in the 7th. They take him out. The bullpen blows the game.
Yeah, was sick.
Captain Hook. Good one. You're great with the nicknames. Skeens going out in 20 minutes. Pirates at home to the Jays. Pittsburgh up to $1.20 at DraftKings. Total of 7. His strikeout prop only 5.5. As we know, that great run where the pitchers go under their K-prop against the Blue Jays. Big stretch for Toronto coming up. 9 in a row against teams with a losing record. Pittsburgh's lost 7 of 8. Worst bullpen ERA this month. Vlad hitting .410 last 11 games. Give me your Vlad props and give me the Blue Jays. I don't want any part of this Pittsburgh team. And again, it's got to be first 5 or nothing if you want the Pirates, because you can't trust this bullpen. And can they get anything going off Gossman, which I don't know if they'd be able to do as well.
Probably not. Gossman's been really good 4 of his last 5 starts. And I talked about that over that stretch. 34 strikeouts, 6 walks. And nobody talks about Kevin Gossman, but he's been great recently. Paul Skeens, I just wonder a little bit if he might have a tired arm. If you watched him last week in Milwaukee, 4 innings, gave up 2 home runs, got knocked out of that game early. I'm with you. I would not want to play the Pirates here.
Okay. I like the over in this Detroit game. Flaherty against Arrighetti. 8 up to 8.5 now. Detroit $1.50. Tigers are 7-17 when Flaherty starts. And Arrighetti has an ERA of 8 in the last 3. Disappointing. They lost 2 out of 3 at home to the Orioles. Tigers, now the division's over after Atlanta sweeps Cleveland on the road, but I think there's going to be runs scored in this one. And if you can grab the 8s out there, I think there'll be runs with Arrighetti against Flaherty. Should be plenty of offense there.
It should be. I would agree with that over 8, but circuit here has dropped from 8.5, shaded under, to 8 on the total. Now it's 8 over 120.
They're going to hit Flaherty. They're going to get.
I think both these pitchers are going to get.
Yes,
hit.
Yes. There's plenty of sticks here to do some damage. Cardinals and Marlins. Marlins $1.45. Just when they were playing well, now they've dropped 10 of 14, and it's over for the Cardinals. Swept by the Yankees. They've lost 5 in a row. How about you give Sonny Gray all that run support, and he couldn't get it done. 7.5, 140. Miami favored. Liberatore, ERA career of 12 against Miami. This one's tough.
How about the total? 7.5?
Yeah, I think
that's a reflection of the St. Louis offense being really sluggish. Not much going on there. Like I said, I think Cardinals are a lost cause. You can find better spots on the card to bet every day than teams like that.
Yep, good one in Boston. Red Sox on an 18-4 run. Tough loss yesterday. They give it away in the 9th. Mays $1.30 against Rogers, total of 8. Orioles still feisty, hanging in there. Rogers with a 1.43 ERA. But again, I can't get involved with May. Can't figure it out. Don't trust them. And much better at home. But I can't believe the numbers Rogers is putting up. Man, this guy's been good.
That's another guy, Trevor Rogers, who's, when you look at his numbers, you say, wow, I didn't realize he was pitching that well. Dustin May, I'm not a fan, but 9 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 12 Ks, 2 walks. Been pretty good for the Red Sox the last couple times out. Speaking of the Red Sox, our buddy Chris Massaro, you hung out with him Saturday night. You say the girls didn't show up? That's a bad beat.
No kidding.
You guys put a lot of money into it.
Especially when it's the girl's idea, and it can't happen.
And they didn't show. They no
some
show.
babysitting something. It's a tough scene.
Oh, that's rough.
You had to babysit. Unfortunate something happened.
Now he's got to watch the Red Sox lose the way they did on Sunday.
No, it was tough. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Royals and Rangers. Waka $1.30 against Leiter. I like the Royals. Texas has lost 7 of 10. Third worst road record in the American League. It's all but over for the Rangers. It was a valiant run, but this has been tough here. It's just you can't blow games like this in that debacle in Toronto. And I think Kansas City's still fighting. I trust Walker, and I think the Royals get it done.
It's All-Star break.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people touting the Rangers. Watch out for Texas.
I did too. I bet them. Yeah, I was all over them. Yeah,
I wasn't buying it.
But they're playing good ball, but also the schedule's got them too. Horrendous bullpen, and then the schedule's got them. It's so many tough teams and tough games. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Tyone against Patrick, $1.10, 9 the total. Tyone's had 1 good start and 1 bad start against the Brewers. What's the total's 9? Interesting. Patrick was bad in AAA as he gets the ball for the Brewers. There is no way I'm getting in front of the Brewers right now. No way. I don't care who was throwing for the Cubbies. Maddox in the heyday. I can't do it. They're that hot. The sticks have been great, and total domination. And even going back to Friday, 8-1 in the second inning, no problem. Come back, win that game 10-8. So it's just winning's contagious, hitting's contagious, great locker room. Cubs reeling, Brewers playing great ball. I come back with the Brewers.
Well, you talk about the regrets on the bets you don't make.
Yeah.
I looked at the Brewers today. Freddie Peralta plus 105. Line looked a little bit fishy to me. Didn't make the bet. Well, the line wasn't fishy. It was just wrong. Brewers win that game 7-0. You didn't bet Milwaukee today in the first game, did you?
I missed it. No.
I missed it too.
Missed it.
Freddie Peralta.
Freddie Peralta
Plus 105.
Well, Horton has been great, but you're right. He's got 15 wins now, and no problem. It's 5-4 Milwaukee head-to-head, too, on the season. But never in doubt. I look up, the Cubs have 1 hit in the 8th inning. It's all Milwaukee. Phillies and Mariners, excuse me. Good series from Philly. Suarez, $1.20 against Gilbert. 7.5 the total. Big Dumper does it again. Leads in home runs. Tied for most RBIs. I can't get a feel for Suarez and Sanchez. When I bet on them, they let me down. Gilbert, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. After they drop the series against the Mets, see if the Mariners can get it's going to be a tough road trip. But a tough game here. Actually, they kind of look like they want you to take the Phillies. Boy, that's low. Where's the $1.13? Is that $1.13 at Circa on this game? That's a lot of respect for the Seattle and Gilbert in this one. I think there could be runs. Gilbert has a ERA of 5 and change career against Philadelphia. I think 7.5 is too low.
Circa moved up from 111 to 113 on the Phillies, but that's a minuscule move. It'd be Phillies or pass. I'm going to pass on that game. By the way, Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong combined 0 for 7.
Yeah.
PCA batting 259, Tucker batting 261.
All right. Here's what I was talking about.
Cubs got a lot of problems.
Let me tell you, yep. My tease, Dodgers have won 10 in a row against the Rockies. They're betting it like they have the newspaper, tomorrow's newspaper. It's open 260. They were 310 earlier in the day at DraftKings. Now it's 290. Yamamoto has been great on the road. About Matt, right? Last time out, he was terrible against the Angels. 6-0 against the Rockies this year. They've outscored them 71-33. They've won 16 of the last 19 against the Rockies. The 10 in a row, as I mentioned. Get your Ohtani props. 667 career against Freeland. Total bases 3, 4 plus 115, plus 220 to have 5. All about Ohtani tonight. See if he goes deep. But how about 210 on the run line? On the road.
That's
Where do you
crazy.
see that?
That is.
Total of 11.5. And the Reds and Angels, this is a 10-game road trip for the Reds. They still have 21 left on the road. Angels, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Singer, $1.12, total of 9.5. And the Giants and Padres. Padres just swept the Giants on the road. The Giants finally won a home game yesterday. They had lost 15 of 16. A matchup we just saw, Nasty Nesters, $1.45 against Robbie Ray, total of 7.5. I agree with you. There could be a letdown spot where, yes, we know the Dodgers are coming up again, but we just got swept and had it handed to us.
Yeah, all the signs are pointing to the Padres here, but I'm not going to buy into them. By the way, don't look now, but the Rockies have won 5 out of 6.
That's right.
Circa in the last 10 hours has moved from minus 265 to minus 272 on the Dodgers. They're not taking sharp money here on the Dodgers. Like you talked about the DraftKings,
yeah.
That's public square money.
That's right, yeah. 260 up to 310 in some spots. Clock's ticking. Week 0 this Saturday. NFL just weeks away. Now's the time to get VSiN Pro and lock in your edge. New subscribers get instant access to both college football and NFL betting guides, loaded with team previews, power ratings, betting systems, best bets from the top analysts, the dog videos, the morning email from Bill 80, the best bets, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the market insights, the Mackinnon betting systems, the prop analyzer. Damn it, do it. $9.99. Or save 50% off with the annual plan, VSiN.com/subscribe. Monday Night Football. We'll preview the game coming up with Jay Morrison and get to the bottom of this Hendrickson situation coming up on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Monday Night Football. Bengals are 42.5 against Washington. Getting ready for the game tonight. Talking to Jay Morrison, now our friend at By Jay Morrison on X, Bengals beat writer for BengalsTalk.com. He's on the Progressive guest line. Thanks for a few minutes, my friend. Let's get right into it. Do you think they're going to trade Hendrickson?
No, I'd be stunned if they trade Trey Hendrickson. They're listening. I don't know how hard they're listening. It's going to be a bad look. If they were going to trade him, they should have done it before free agency, before the draft. The day before training camp opened, Mike Brown, the owner, this is the only day of the year he talks to the media. He said, we're not trading Trey Hendrickson. They can't be stunned where the market is gone. They knew all these other edge rushers were going to get paid and the price was going to go up. I think they're going to lose the fan base if they trade him. You're essentially, I don't care who you get back and what kind of draft pick you're getting, you're punting on 2025. They did not fix this defense to the point where they can get away with trading Trey Hendrickson and think it's going to have a chance to get them into the playoffs. So I think he signs at some point. I still think it's going to be Labor Day weekend, and then he gets that whole first week leading up to week 1.
Yeah, it's interesting because what have the Bengals gained by pushing it out this far? You look at Myles Garrett getting paid in Cleveland, T.J. Watt getting paid in Pittsburgh. The Bengals need to pay Trey Hendrickson. You would think, how bad a situation is this defense going to be in if they don't get this done? You had a good line during the commercial break. You said deadlines get deals done, and you think this is going to get done around Labor Day weekend. Let's say he's not on the field week 1 in Cleveland. How concerned would you be about what was a bad Bengals defense last season?
Yeah, it would be concerning. And the thing is, if he misses 8 games, 9, it's somewhere around that midseason. That then he doesn't get the year of accrued service, and he's right back in this same position. But people forget he is under contract for this year,
Right.
and he's due to make 15.8 in base salary as part of a 1-year, $21 million extension that he signed a couple of years ago to add this year on. If he hadn't have done that, he would have hit free agency by now.
Yep.
So he might push it and not play in week 1, week 2. We'll see. Their first round draft pick is the guy they drafted to succeed him, edge rusher Shamar Stewart. He's looked great in camp. If he comes in and plays, gets a couple sacks, looks great against the Browns in week 1, then all the leverage goes to the Bengals. Or if he struggles and the Browns somehow pull the upset and the Bengals defense looks awful, then all that leverage goes to Trey. And I still think something gets done at some point. But yeah, this defense, they have a lot of hopes. They got rid of their old defense coordinator, brought in Al Golden, who took Notre Dame as their defense coordinator the national championship game last year. He's kind of made a reputation on developing young talent, and this defense has drafted first, second, third round defenders like crazy the last few years trying to build this defense, and they just haven't developed them. They haven't reached for any of these guys. They would have been first, second, third round picks by other teams, but they've struggled to develop them. That's why Al Golden's here. So you have a sense of optimism that the defense is going to get better, but then you almost negate all of that if you get rid of Trey Hendrickson.
So let's say they get the deal done. What's your expectations or predictions for what the team's going to do this year, and if Golden can turn it around?
Yeah, I mean, I expect them to make the playoffs. I expect them to challenge Baltimore to win the division. I can't say they're the favorite to do that. They have yet to beat Lamar Jackson. Now, it's not like the Ravens own them. These games have all been crazy close. Yeah. Last year, it was a 2-point conversion in the final minute that failed, or else they win that game. Week 5 last year, if they kick a field goal in overtime, they win, and the holder drops the snap. It's just been all these like crazy close games. So they're right there with the Ravens, but they haven't got over the hump and beat them when Lamar's been playing. So I think playoffs is the baseline there. And then we saw it last year. As bad as that defense was, you get Joe Burrow and this offense playing the way they're capable at the end of the year, no one is going to want to face this team in the playoffs. So no matter how they get there, how that defense is played, if they get in the postseason, I think they're contenders to get to the Super Bowl.
What do you think is a better bet? Joe Burrow to lead the NFL in passing yards, 5-1 odds, lead the NFL in touchdown passes, plus 550, or Burrow to be MVP at 7-1. Would you make any of those bets? And if you could only make one, which one?
I think I would go MVP. I mean, look at all the votes he got last year. They didn't even make the playoffs. If he gets them into the playoffs this year, and if this defense is still really bad, he's got a real shot to win that. I wouldn't go passing yards because I do expect this defense to be better. I do expect them to get off to a fast start because Joe Burrow is healthy going into week 1, which almost never happens. There's a big reason why they haven't started fast. And so I expect this team to have leads in the second half, and they're going to lean into the running game. They're still a pass-first team. They're always going to have a lot of true pass sets. But Chase Brown is really something special at running back, and I could see them kind of, not throwing as much in the fourth quarter. Last year was like they take a lead and then the defense would give it up, and they're just throwing every single play, trying to catch up, trying to play these seesaw games. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. So I would go with the MVP. Second choice would probably be touchdown passes, and the touchdown yards, I wouldn't touch that one.
Jay Morrison, our guest at By Jay Morrison on X, BengalsTalk.com, beat writer on the Progressive Guest Line. Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. What do you expect tonight, and how long the starters will go? And if the Bengals, like Taylor said, let's play the starters, let's get off to a fast start. Offense wasn't the problem last week. They gave up 34 points. What do you think happens tonight in Washington?
Yeah, I think the defense will play a little better. I'm concerned about the offense tonight. The original plan was to play the starters for a half. They saw enough. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns against Philly. Okay. I don't think they want to take any chances of exposing them to injury. This offensive line is in shambles. The top 4 backups are all hurt and won't play. So even if the starters get 2 drives and score 2 touchdowns, I don't think this offense is going to score after the starters go out. They don't have depth anyhow. And then the guys that they did have as their backups are out. So it's going to be third stringers in there. So I think this will be low scoring. I saw what the line opened at Bengals by 4.5, and then it dropped down to 3 after Zach made that announcement about only playing the starters for a quarter instead of a half. And the Bengals also have lost, where they have a 7-game winless streak in the postseason. That's tied for their longest in franchise history. They just don't care about winning preseason games. Mm-hmm. They don't typically play the starters long in these preseason games. I don't know what Washington's plan is exactly, but I wouldn't touch the Bengals.
All right, good info. Dan Quinn 2-15 though. This is getting juicy. What's your favorite? What's your favorite item at Arby's?
My favorite item, I love their jalapeno poppers. I think they are very underrated. I just ran out. My wife asked me what I wanted for dinner, and I was like, well, we got the game coming up. I got to cover that off of TV. I'm not in Washington tonight, so no sense traveling for preseason games. So we ran to Arby's, went through the drive-thru. I got the regular roast beef sandwiches. She loves the ham and Swiss sliders.
Ooh.
And, we're ready for kickoff now.
That's it. How about the curly fries? You get those every time?
I'm not a big curly fry. I like the crinkle fries they brought. I usually go with the jalapeno poppers instead of fries. Okay. I know that's kind of weird, but I used to work at Arby's back when I was in high school back in the 80s. They didn't have curly fries then. I've never gotten on board with them.
The crinkle cut fries they have there are pretty good as well, and they brought back potato cakes. You're a guy who worked at Arby's. It was founded in Ohio in 1964. Going way back, a lot of history in Arby's in Ohio where you live. Do you recall the pot roast sandwich from the early 2000s?
I do not remember that. I know they float these items out and see how they sell. They took ham off the menu for a while. Made my wife really mad that they brought that back. So maybe if you start a letter writing campaign, you can get the pot roast back.
Well, I tried that 20 years ago. It didn't work.
Shut down. Does Skyline Chili live up to the hype?
So if you live here, it's kind of like beer or coffee. It's an acquired taste. I love it. I actually had that for lunch yesterday.
All right.
So
that's great.
I'm a big fan of Skyline Chili, but I get it for people that don't live here. They fly in for a game, they try it, and they're like, I don't get what the whole craze is about. But if you're here and you grow up with it, it's just one of those things where you kind of start craving it every week or so.
Excellent. Great information. Good to talk to you. We'll catch up with you soon. Enjoy the game. Appreciate it, sir.
Great talking to you guys.
Jay Morrison. Good. Arby's snob. And,
he's living right.
Yeah.
Skyline one day, Arby's the next.
Yeah, right. BengalsTalk.com on the Progressive guest line. Can you share that story, what you said?
What's that?
With the letter?
I called Arby's corporate office 20 years ago because the pot roast sandwich was out. It was an experimental item. It was out for about a month or 6 weeks, and I went every day to get a pot roast sandwich. A lot of days I woke up, it was one of the first things I would think about, go to Arby's. And one day I showed up in the drive, well, we don't have it anymore. And you're just devastated.
Sure.
What? What do you mean you don't have the pot roast sandwich? You know?
Sure.
It's crushing.
Sure.
And I called the corporate offices. I said, how can you discontinue this? Is the best thing you've got in the menu.
Sure.
And the explanation to me was, well, it's too expensive to make. Never brought it back. It would have been a Hall of Fame sandwich, fast food Hall of Fame, and they discontinued it. But I give Arby's credit because they do gamble. They roll out new items. They're not afraid to take chances, right? And you have to appreciate that at a gambling network.
You got it, buddy. You got it. In Pocket Place, coming up next in the MLB scoreboard. Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, downtown Circa.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're out.
All right. Apologies. No good. 1-3 over the weekend. Friday night. Went under outs with Sandy. He was great. He had an ERA of 8 on the road. He shut down the Red Sox. No good there. Eagles were no good against the Browns. This DTR is so bad. What's this guy doing in the league? I mean, he comes in right away and he throws a pick 6, right? So bad. And then McKee. And then they didn't play McKee. McKee didn't play. And after he was the star of Week 1 preseason, going 20 of 25, can't play as right. And then the Diamondbacks couldn't get to Gordon.
Well, I was right there with you on the Eagles, but I made a misread of the situation because when I was reading about the game the night before, it was revealed that Tanner McKee was not going to play.
Yeah.
And I had assumed he was going to play, and that was a mistake to assume that because you don't want to bet on Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Kyle McCord.
Amen.
And that was a blunder, and
that was surprising.
Sometimes you take a misstep in the preseason, but Tanner McKee was so good in Week 1 of the preseason, they decided not to play him in Week 2. And the last thing you want to do is bet on DTR. He's a disaster.
Absolutely. Easy winner Saturday night with the Dodgers. I think they got, 5 off Cease with 1 hit? Walking everybody?
Outscored the Padres 14-6. They swept the series. And, Dodgers deserved to be favorites in all those games. They came through. They bounced back from the embarrassment against the Angels.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, Dodgers have won 10 in a row against the Rockies, but Ohtani also hitting .667 career against Freeland. Will go over 3 bases tonight. $1.25. Want to get aggressive? 4, 5, 4? 5 is plus 220, I think. You can check that out. Ladder it, who knows. But he owns Freeland. Let's go deep right away, Ohtani. Let's do it. Good luck, everyone.
That's a bet. You might win.
First at bat. I hope so.
Shohei Ohtani gets a leadoff homer tonight. I'm telling you, that number is still not moving here at Circa. Dodgers minus 272. Total of 11. Okay, I got one play tonight. I sent this in early this morning to Luke, the producer, and at that point, Commanders plus 3.5 minus 102 at DraftKings. And there were 4s popped up all afternoon.
Yeah.
Now Circa's down to 3, Westgate down to 3, DraftKings down to 3, but South Point still got 3.5. There's a couple other 3.5s out there. So I believe that Dan Quinn's going to play Jaden Daniels in the first-string offense. Probably equal time that we're going to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals' number 1 offense on the field tonight. Jay just said something pretty interesting. We had him on. The Bengals' backup offensive lineman, 4 guys are banged up. They're not going to play tonight. He didn't think Cincinnati's going to do much scoring after Burrow leaves the game tonight. I took 3.5 with the Commanders as home dogs, thinking that this is going to be a heads-up game. Jaden Daniels against Joe Burrow, and then when the backups take the field, Commanders should have the edge too. So I like the home dog here.
Well, it's something has to give. You got a coach who's 3-13-1.
Well, they're both bad.
Yeah, right. And Dan Quinn's all-time bad. He's 2-15. Straight up.
Taylor's lost 7 straight preseason
games. You believe that? That's nuts. And then Dan Quinn goes 0-4, 0-4, 1-4, 1-2, and then the 2 wins are in garbage week time, where no one plays. Incredible. Get the G-Bank Visa Signature credit card today. Built with sports bettors in mind. Most credit cards, street sports books, and gaming transactions. There's cash advances even when you're using your own money. G-Bank treats them as regular purchases. That means no cash advance fees, saving you 3 to 5% on every deposit. Don't pay those outrageous fees. You're over your limit, waiting for that wire to come in. Get it. Get rewarded, paid for what you're doing. 1% cash back on eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions. 2% cash back on everything else you buy. Apply now. VSiN.com/GBank. VSiN.com/GBank. Bases loaded for the Astros in the first. See if they can get the Flaherty. Skeens goes 3 up, 3 down. I'll tell you, Nerfy wouldn't have been bad there. He's only allowed to run in the first inning once all year.
That's 24 starts?
Yeah. They're underway in Philly. And the Cardinals have 2 on with 2 out in the top of the first. In game 1 of a doubleheader, the Cubs throttled the Brewers throttled the Cubs 7-0. Peralta was great. And thanks to a couple tweets, they don't know if game 2 is going to be played. Could be storms and thunderstorms in the area. That's supposed to go at 5 Pacific in that one. So we'll see if we get something going on while we're on the air as well. Good stuff.
Looks like watching the screen right now, looks like the Padres are taking some money tonight.
Okay, so let's go back to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dodgers opened $2.60. They shot up to $3 at most places, except Circa, and then got to $3.10 at DraftKings.
Now down to $2.88 at DraftKings.
Right. They're $2.70 at Circa, and they're $2.80, $2.85 at most spots now. That's something.
To me, it's a bit of a tricky spot for the Dodgers because you had such a big series against the Padres. It's an emotional weekend. You sweep the series, then you got to hit the road and play the worst team in baseball. Definitely, it could be a flat spot tonight for the Dodgers. Plus, the Rockies, I don't know how, but they've won 5 of the last 6.
I know.
They're suddenly playing better baseball.
Yeah.
Circa, you got to watch the sharper books and see if the number's moving. Circa at 265 at 5 o'clock this morning and is 272 now. So basically no move in the last 10 hours here. So you're not getting Sharps laying a big price with the Dodgers.
And Flaherty got out of it.
Did?
Yeah, go to the bottom of the first. Dolphins, let me ask you about 2 moves. The Dolphins agreed to a deal with Matthew Judon, and the Eagles traded for Mechie. Anything there?
Nothing really moves the needle for me.
Okay.
First of all, I think I've got very low expectations for the Dolphins.
You're not the only one. How low?
It could be, well, let's put it this way.
5 wins? McDaniel fired?
Could be a 5 or 6 win team, and McDaniel gets fired.
Uh-huh.
Paul Charchian's in with us today, and he's talking about Tyreek Hill and his decline and his explosive plays. If you look at the Dolphins, if Tyreek Hill's not a big-time playmaker for you, who's going to be? Because I'm not a Tua guy. I've never believed in Tua, and I don't think this Dolphins defense is anything special. I can only bet this win total under 7.5. But I think the best under bet in that division is Jets under 6.5. So much talk about the Giants and how you're going to fade the Giants. I think the Giants' talent level's a lot better than most people realize. Now, the schedule, it's awful. It's brutal.
Yep.
But if you want to bet a New York team under the win total, bet the Jets under 6.5.
Oh, the passing game's horrendous. The thing, Fields gets $20 million a year.
Listen, Fields been a fiasco as a passing quarterback.
Well, plus we had Jets. We had the guy on from Jets Whispers. Wilson's going to lose his mind, guaranteed. And the other thing is just they're going to run the ball a ton, and they were having success on the ground early on against the Giants. But when this guy has to drop back to pass, it's a circus, and he can't hit open people. So should be an under team. Run. Defense should be better with Glenn, and also when Martinez came and it was bad, and the Giants just took him out. And I'm so impressed with Dart and what he's done so far. So to drop 30-plus points in the first couple games, that was a hell of a job by the Giants. And that was, I guess the receiver ran the wrong route, but the interception while they were driving, and then the sack that took them out of field goal range as well. But just up and down the field in the second half. They look great in that game as well. It's early, but you mentioned the Browns game, but it got away from you. Were you looking at anything week 3 of the preseason? 2 games Thursday, the majority games Saturday?
Well, first of all, I can tell you that the Falcons should be a fade this week.
Absolutely. No Penix.
Yep.
No Cousins.
No Cousins.
Emory Jones was cut. He had a concussion anyways. So that's...
I think the Falcons got to be a fade. Unfortunately, they're playing the Cowboys, who don't care about
Joe
the game.
Milton's been terrible. Joe
Milton's a mess,
yeah.
Which is no surprise to any of us who've watched Joe Milton throughout college. Right now, the Cowboys are painted 3 across the board against the Falcons. It would be Cowboys or pass. I'm thinking about playing the Cowboys because the Falcons have to be a straight fade in that game, right?
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good number.
Obviously, the Browns look like the play. Browns up to 5.5, 6-point favorites over the Rams. If you missed that 2.5 or 3 this morning, it's tough to bet that now. Otherwise, still reading about a lot of these, trying to pick up info. A lot of teams are going to treat this week like the dress rehearsal situation.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Kansas City's doing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Looks like the Chiefs and the Bears are both going to do that this week. Yeah.
And that game's Friday. And I was told by my great source with the Giants that they're not playing anybody.
Not every team is going to treat it like the dress, but most teams are, I believe, from what I've read.
Yeah. And maybe Vrabel's doing the same thing with the Patriots, though, as well. But then again, it could be Tommy DeVito for much of the way. Tim Murray and Greg Peterson up next with VSiN Primetime, then cashing out at 11 p.m., and then VSiN by the book, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Humans back tomorrow. Fun show. Jeff Seeley on golf, Jensen Lewis on baseball. Top 5 Tuesday, best drive-thrus. And also Jimmy Ott. Do the Saints really want to win this year? Have a good one. Cash some tickets.